Hello. Welcome to another show. It's the Brisco and Big Ace show. I am Big Ace, as always, with my brother Wes. How we
What
doing?
up? What up?
How is it going, my friend?
It's going good. We've been having some little bit of rain, a little bit of hotness. It's back to Florida summer heat and raining every single day.
Where
But
you at on those temps right now?
about one.
Oh, yeah, that sounds gross. Nice. Yeah, you've been busy, dude. You've been busy. I have as well. Yeah, and you said you were getting some pretty big storms out there. It knocked your power out for a while. Just
Yeah,
no
I,
rest
I
for the
lost.
wicked.
Yeah, I lost power for a couple hours. It was mainly just right now, like all the little windstorms and stuff. Luckily, they're getting ready and like it sets up for when it's hurricane season. So hopefully, all these branches will be cleared out, so we won't lose this power as much.
Mm,
Like a lot of times, like the power companies come out, which they should, before hurricane season and start clearing out branches because they know that eventually those branches are going to take out power.
right, right. Um, so what season is it right now? Are you in surf season? Is that kind of over now?
Surf season.
Are you going into hurricane season?
Surf season would in Florida would usually be like winter time.
Is that when that is?
Yeah. Hurricane season surfing is like you surf like 1 day or 2 days before and 1 or 2 days after. It's not really like it's not like it's not a big. We're more like for Florida is better like for wintertime like northeastern like cold fronts and like that like real storms like that's what like long term waves is what we consider like good surf here in Florida, like wintertime.
Nice. Yeah, right on. I'm never sure about that because I just know nothing about surf other than what
Yeah,
you tell me.
summertime is flat. Summertime, the ocean is flat
Nice
unless we have a hurricane.
and hot. Well, let's get into. We talked
What
about
you day with the Santaritas, though?
uh, we talked about it last episode, but now that match has happened. And that was the you versus Caleb Conley at Atomic Legacy Wrestling. And this happened over Memorial Day, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it. But still, champion. How'd it go?
Dude, it was probably one of my toughest matches ever. I mean,
Main event in the show. Great
yes.
crowd.
And I've wrestled Caleb multiple times. This is not the first time me and Caleb has wrestled each other. We've had multiple feuds in multiple different companies, and we were always good friends. And we tore down the house, and then at the end, I end up getting the win. And for some reason, I don't know what came about this, but I reached out my hand to show gratitude and to thank him, and I cut a promo saying how much I respect him and how much that I've always looked up to him, and and then he turns around and doesn't shake my hand and flicks me off and walks away.
That's not good. That's not sportsmanship.
It's not that. It's more about respect. I mean, I like me and him had went to battle together, and I showed him respect, and he didn't have to do like that, and like it's crazy. Like we did some crazy moves. He ended up putting me, nutting me onto the guardrail, and then getting back into the ring, and then doing a suicide dive over the ropes onto me onto the guardrail.
Oof. Oof. Yeah. So that sounds like it was a banger of a match. You still came out champ though, so that's what matters. But maybe there's just more to this story then. I don't know. Maybe you and Caleb are going to cross paths again.
I hope so. The next person I have is ECW legend.
Nice. That will be. Do you know who that is? I didn't see it. So, and that's coming up in July.
First, I believe.
July 1st.
Right? What's the?
Let me check it out. The Star Spangled Slammer, Saturday, July 1st.
Yeah.
Melbourne, Florida. And man, that's I keep hitting the wrong thing, so I keep closing it. But that also looks like a very stacked show.
Bobby Fish. I mean, all types of people we got on the show.
And you're taking on title on the line, Tony DeVito.
Tony DeVito. Hey, we got Tony DeVito over here. You know, I'm not really too worried about that. Should be a walk in the park. I faced Shane Douglas. I faced multiple champs, and I think it'll just be a nice little easy day for West Brisco. I think I'll just be
cruising right along as the champ should. Just looking back at this last show that you were just at, though, again, some really big names on there. You had Sue Young and Suicide and Bobby Fish, but Violent J of ICP was there. I have to ask you, because there's always, like, Insane Clown Posse has always been just this like thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's its own thing. It's like its own world, almost like pro wrestling, right? You know what I mean? And it's very fascinating. Now, do you listen to Insane Clown Posse? Have you listened to Insane Clown Posse? That means yes. So yeah, it's I used to work at a Hot Topic. Imagine that. And when I was working at this Hot Topic, like, dude, people would come in who were the Juggalos, right? That's what they call them, Juggalo fans, and they would come.
We like to be called Juggalos.
Juggalos. They would come buy all the ICP shirts and stuff from us, and I had one kid go off on me for a half hour because there was an M&M shirt next to an ICP shirt. And cafe. And this kid would not let it go. Would not let it go.
Keep talking about that.
Oh, cafecito. Yeah, it was very, very interesting. Which I don't even know if there's like a feud with them nowadays anymore at this point, but that's interesting though. Very diehard fans for ICP, but I mean they have their gathering of the Juggalos, which goes down every year, and I think it started off as just like a one night thing, and it's turned into like a 4-day thing now, festival, and it's pretty insane, and they do everything. It's like music, like I think comedy, maybe podcast, and wrestling, because they have their own wrestling promotion, the JCW, which has been around for a long time now, dude.
Really long.
And surprisingly, those guys are like, they're huge wrestling fans, and they're pretty smart wrestling fans. I have listened to them talk on some interviews about wrestling. And I remember, they used to come out with the oddities on WWE, and then they were in WCW as well, and they were actually in the ring, which, I mean, some of the first rappers to do it, right?
I don't know about rap. I don't know. I'm not saying anything because I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, so how was ICP? Was he cool? Violent J?
It was super cool, man. And it was super cool with all the fans. Took pictures with everybody. went out there, did a huge splash onto the guy through a table. It was good, man. He put on a hell of a show. Big up to Alex for ALW, and he put on a little concert and his band Razor's Edge. It was really good. So yeah, man, it was all around good. It's a really good show, and it was in Orlando too, so it was a little bit closer, and I felt a little bit more at home, and it felt really good, like to be back at home in Orlando and do a show there. And then, of course, we got another one coming up right away. Big Louie. I guess I got to be worried about him for some reason. I don't really know why I need to be worried because if you look at the past opponents that I have faced, where would he fit in? I mean, from Rich Swan, Caleb, I mean, the Pope, I mean,
Carlito.
I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, this is just recently. So, I don't really know if I should. I mean, I'm not taking the match like lightly, but I'm also not giving two fucks.
There you go. You're ready to go. That's what that means. You're ready to go. Well, that, and it's going to be a good crowd. And I think as long as you're in front, look,
What?
this is the first time in like the 4 years or 5 years we've done this show that you've actually flexed it on the show. I don't think you've ever done that before.
That's because Louis better watch it. I'm in shape, boy. I'm ready to whoop that ass. That's why I'm not. So that's why I'm not worried, man. I've been putting in the work. Has he been putting in the work? Has he been putting in the work, huh?
Well, I'm excited for that, and I'm sure it's going to be a full house to see you take on that DeVito guy and beat him.
Look, my trap is probably bigger than his bicep.
Probably, dude. Probably. Oh my goodness. So we were talking earlier this week, man. You had hit me up and we were talking about it. It leaked out everywhere. AEW had Double or Nothing in Vegas, right? And yeah, not a great crowd, I guess you could say. So what's funny too is I said this to my friends who were at my place watching this because I had just gotten home from my vacation, and we basically came home and turned it on. And third or fourth match, and I was like, man, this crowd seems really dead.
Dude, it was crazy.
Little did I know.
Dude, it was more than dead. I got a lot of ties in Vegas, so I have a lot of friends there. And one of my boys were there. And another funny situation about this was that he had to put out a post saying sorry that he couldn't let all the AEW guys into a certain club because I guess a bunch of them tried to get into a club and he couldn't let them all in. And it's funny because it's my buddy and he runs the club. I would have walked right past all those guys and not even like and just been like it's just I don't know. It's funny how the world works because like my buddy had to be like put a post on Twitter saying sorry I could only let 5 of you guys in. Like, and it's funny because like if it was me and whoever I want can go wherever I want. Like, and it's just funny because I know he texted me. He's like, he goes, did you see that? I started laughing. He was like, yeah, they're trying to act like they're superstars here, but they don't know nothing about Vegas because,
well, Vegas is where the real high rollers go. That's why, boom.
Oh,
now I will give you this. This does look like it is camera because they got the camera right there.
It doesn't matter. It's hard cam. Yes, it is hard cam, but look at that.
And this is the second or third match of the pay-per-view.
Oh
From
my God.
from what I heard is
Coronavirus?
no, I heard that people like it still wasn't a great sell, but it did get more full, but it wasn't until the women's TBS championship match, the Jade Cargill match.
Okay, all of a sudden, everyone's filled, and thousands of people finally parked their cars, so ran through and scanned their tickets just to see that match. You're trying to tell
Right.
me what?
No, what I'm
Oh,
saying though is like I guess there was a chunk of people who didn't come into like the last two matches, which I don't understand why you do that if you
that's
pay to go
bullshit.
to the thing, you know what I
Nobody.
mean?
How are you gonna time that? Alone, I'm watching it on my phone, sitting in my car. Like, what a retard!
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, Marks. If you're really sitting in your car waiting to walk, you're watching on your phone, and you're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna walk in until so." Like, be real. What? Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit. Like a lot of things for them started going
They probably were
sideways when
probably
Punk
probably
got into the fight in the locker
yeah,
room.
probably towards the beginning when people weren't showing up. Someone ran down Fremont, started throwing out tickets everywhere.
Probably. I mean, you want to try to get people in there because you don't want to have that come off. And like I said, halfway through the show, I made a comment like, "Man, this crowd's dead." Well, it's because it was empty, which is weird too, because this used to be like a destination show. People would always go to this show. I don't
No, when
like
I worked Vegas, it would always sell out. Every
right.
time I went to Vegas, it was always a great show, always great crowd.
Yep. Yeah, and like I said, their previous Double or Nothings, they've not had this issue. So if you start to really wonder, like, a lack of storyline definitely is a thing for AEW because you can have these high quality matches, and that's awesome. But the whole point of keeping me to watch every week and to get invested in the matches is also the storyline to go along with it, where that's where they're missing a lot because it's just a lot of you versus you, you versus you, you versus you, you versus you.
Yeah, well, if they give you everything you want during the weekly basis, what specialty are you going to give them? You're going to up the ante by giving him center or whatever night they're on. They use the 8-foot ladder. This week they're going to, on the paper, use a 12-foot ladder. Lord Jesus. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. Like, they don't save anything. They don't make anything special. So you want to buy that pay-per-view or you want to see. If people want to consider pay-per-views as just any other thing, then they give it to them for free.
Well, and that's just it. You're losing the point of what the pay-per-views meant to the wrestling world, and that was
It's for free. Give it to them for free. All the
right.
marks out there that are yelling at me and saying, "Oh, no." Well, you guys should get the pay-per-view for free, guys. You really should. Shouldn't have to
Yeah.
pay for it.
Well,
Why?
because the point of those things is you're supposed to either have a payoff or continue what storyline you have going, where theirs are not really like that. Again, you just get matches, which you see the difference. You look at what WWE's done with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, and how just like I tune in to watch to see what's going to happen next with that. The matches that come along because of that storyline are the bonus to it because they're going to be banger matches. But the story is why I'm invested. I want to know, like this last week on Raw, or was it Raw? I guess I did watch some of Raw or SmackDown. Sorry, SmackDown. I watched SmackDown this last week, and the Usos basically turned on Roman. Solo turned on his own brothers, the Usos, and spiked Jimmy in the throat with the Samoan spike, and then they left. So now the bloodline's basically breaking up because the Usos are together, but they're mad at But you're like, I want to know what's going to happen next with all this,
Yeah.
and the matches are going to be great. Where you just and I was a fan of AEW, and I still am because I like some of the talent there, so I'll still try to watch because of that. But like I was invested in the beginning because there was more story, and now it's almost like they completely when they
How many entourages does Jericho need?
yeah I mean, he's just been in a faction almost the entire time he's been in AEW.
And it's becoming worse and worse.
And that's just it. Yeah, like it was okay in the beginning when you had Inner Circle, but now
I
it's
like Inner Circle. I like
right,
this. I was
right.
cool with that.
And now you
Full
got
with
the
that.
JA, the Jericho Appreciation Squad, the JAS, uh, and it's just a little like, you know, and well, that and their whole roster appears to be in factions, uh, which is odd too. But
What do you think?
yeah,
What do you think about Riddle? All over all these porn stars.
so uh, I don't know. I think Riddle's a douche. Uh, I think he's a big fucking asshole. I know one of the adult film stars that he dated in this whole ordeal, and she's friends of us on the 2 Count because she's out of Minneapolis. So like I have talked to her before, and she's like told me some stuff, but like just a fucking douche of a guy. But I mean, the thing is, he had shit coming at him before he even started getting with these porn stars because of all the like,
No, we're not going to get into that.
But
No, let's get into what he's posting and what he's proudly putting out there. We don't talk dirt, and we don't put shame on anybody. But the past, but what they're promoting right now, he's promoting pictures of him and two of like the hottest porn stars, and then what was he just at the porn star like award show or something?
yep. Yeah, I mean, what do you do when you work for a PG company? Like that's kind of not the thing you're going to want to do. You, they fired Mandy Rose months ago because she had an account where she wasn't doing sex acts and she wasn't fully nude, but it was almost there. And they ended up firing her from NXT because of it.
I didn't know.
Yeah, dude. And now she just does it's not even OnlyFans, it's some other like Fansly thing where you pay. And she still hasn't put anything out, but there is some where like you could see like her nipple through the hair or her bare butt or maybe like a boob.
That's it.
Yeah, but they fired her for it.
It's like being so, but it's weird because you look back in the day with Shawn Michaels with the title bell around his hee haw, and then of course Miss Kitty showing her boobs on TV.
Well, and then you had like what 5 or 6 different divas go to Playboy.
Lingerie. Yeah, and then all the lingerie matches.
Yep. And now, now it's PG, so we can't be doing that. And again, Mandy Rose, who's a huge star for them when they got rid of her, she was their NXT Women's Champion and had like a.
It's just weird that like something that small, because you would think I know some of the other talent that they have hired have done worse things. So why there must be some other issue, to be honest with you, because that's not the reason why they fired her. There has to be another reason, because there's a lot of talent that has done a lot worse things than that to get rid of.
Yeah, and that's kind of like she came out and said the same thing. She's like something.
There's more to the story than I can say.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it because
she didn't like see it coming at all because she had been doing this site for a while. Yeah. And again, it's not like OnlyFans. She's not up there like spread eagle just nude. They were just very, very risque photos,
Yeah.
And God bless her. I mean, the girl's got a body. She can go make that money on there. She don't need WWE now. She's making probably more money without it. But it's very odd, though, because then they kind of are protecting Riddle right now. And it's like, this guy is hanging out with these girls that's their job. So what are you going to do? Plus, yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't like Riddle.
I'm friends with him. So, I mean, I guess I'm cool with. I'm just not cool with his outside activities.
Yeah. It was funny though. I just saw a YouTube video of like knockouts from the reality show from UFC, and his was on there where he just knocked that dude out cold. Like, dude was
Yes,
like,
it was the fastest knockout.
yeah, it was insane.
23 seconds or something.
Yeah, insane. But we'll see what they do. You know, the other thing too with Matt Riddle for WWE is he had a really good thing going with Orton. And then when Orton got hurt and had to leave, it was kind of like, well, what do we do with him? Because even when he was maybe getting a little sloppy, because there was times like he just didn't know his lines and stuff like that or whatever. And Orton can make it work. Where now some of it's a little awkward if he does that.
Yeah, you should know your lines.
You know, it's I'm surprised WWE leaned in on the whole weed thing with him and that, you know, the bro 420 shirts and the whole just
I wanted one of the shirts so bad.
you probably still get them. I bet you they're still online.
Yeah, I saw someone this weekend have one on.
I mean, it was a cool shirt, you know. But yeah, so I don't know though. Like I haven't heard anything about him in the last couple of weeks, but I don't think he's hurt, so he should be back on TV pretty quick here. I think they're just probably trying to figure out what do we do with him because he was doing. They had him with Owens and Sami Zayn a few weeks back, and it's like, okay, we get it. You're just putting him on to get him in the ring and get him on the TV show.
Well, it doesn't fit though. Those two guys are too sticklers compared to Riddle's more just you have to put either Riddle with like a straight laced guy or a wild person.
Yeah. Well, you know, so something else they might be doing in WWE, it sounds like, is we might finally see a heel Bianca Belair as well as the Street Profits and actually make them a faction now. Which we haven't seen a heel Bianca Belair since NXT, which even then it was kind of more babyface, but some heel stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that.
Well, I don't think that's going to work.
You don't think so?
Uh-uh.
I think she could pull off heel.
She's too over.
Yeah, right now she is, but
she's too over. She would have. Who's the top babyface that she could really fuck up? Oh, that's number 2. That she could really mess up. And people will go, oh, wow. I mean, she just gonna randomly cheat on a match and then turn heel? No, for her to turn heel, she has to have someone like Becky Lynch or someone super, and they raise her hand, and all of a sudden she turns around Becky Lynch and just socks her right in the face.
Yeah, well, and they're gonna have to do something because they lost another baby face because Alexa Bliss is pregnant, so she's out, 10 more months.
Who knocked her?
Her husband, what's his name? The singer Ryan Cabrera.
Oh,
yeah. So she ain't coming back. So that's another hole missing.
Then I wouldn't turn it. Why would you turn her heel? That's the stupidest move you could do. Keep her babyface until you could bring someone back that can actually. If not, it's just not going to work.
Well, plus you got Rhea Ripley, who's just killing it as a heel. She runs Judgment Day. That's the undertone of that whole faction is that Finn acts like the leader, but we all know Rhea Ripley calls the shots. And her and Dom, I mean, that's another one. Like Dominic Mysterio, like everybody was always like, okay, he's Ray's kid. He's not as good, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like now it's like this kid gets nuclear heat when he's in that ring. This kid can't even talk on a microphone. They just boo him. And it works, dude. The whole prison Dom when he went to jail for a night and he's like, I'll never make it in prison. And then he comes out and he's like, I'm hard. I'm prison Dom. Like it just worked, man. It worked. But again, storyline. That's how you keep us coming back. And back to what this all started with. That ain't keeping people coming back at all. So we'll see.
Wait, go back one more. Go back. Okay, never mind. I thought I saw someone I knew.
That'd be hilarious. But yeah, it's just
It'd be pretty easy to spot out.
that. I mean, and here's the other thing: Orange Cassidy, he's a big deal for them. I think his star is slowly starting to fade. I don't think people are on as board with him as they used to be because again, you can only do something so long before it's like, all right, it's not funny anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. So here's the other thing though. We're talking about the attendance and all that. WWE now in their contracts going around to arenas are putting some clause in that blocks AEW from coming so far before them and so far after them. So I mean, just even more trouble for AEW because again, too, if you're a casual wrestling fan, say you have a family and you're like, oh, okay, we'll take the kids to the wrestling show, the big wrestling show, but you're a casual fan, who are you going to look up and end up buying a ticket to? WWE, because it's what you know.
Well,
right?
I mean, this is not the first time WWE has ever done something like
Yeah.
this. They're known. They did it to ROH. They've done it to Impact. They've done it to other indie companies. They mafia style how they run.
Yeah, I remember when WrestleCon was like a thing. Like they were trying to block the entire WrestleCon because it would go down in the the cities, every year. So, it's I don't know. We'll see. Like I have Monday Night Raw coming, I believe, to the Twin Cities here in August. I might go check it out, see what it's like. It's been about a
Of
year or two.
course, you'll be there.
I haven't been going to a lot of the live shows lately. Mainly just independent stuff. But, I'll try to go up and check it out just to see what it's like. I would be interested to check out an AEW house show just to see what that process is like for them. Because generally, I really do enjoy going to WWE's house shows. I went to one last year and we had a blast. They're always a good time.
I would want to see how many people would show up to an AEW. Is it free?
It is not, but they definitely run towns that it's like, okay, there's probably nothing else going on. You know what I mean?
And I wonder how much tickets are. Probably like $10.
Right? Yeah, very, very, very interesting stuff right there. But yeah, it's just, man, dude, I can't believe they had that bad of an attendance. I guess Pat McAfee went in on him about it too. Just be like, what in the hell, guys? Like, and that's the thing, man. It's, I know you don't pay a lot of attention to a lot of the things that go around, but you hear stuff. But like, I remember going to Dynamite a year and a half ago in Minneapolis, and I remember when all this started, and Tony Khan said, "I will not be an on-camera person. You're not
I
going
bet
to
it
see."
comes out like 8 times during a show.
And then I went to that show like a year ago, and yeah, like 4 times he came out during commercial break or on camera and just kept saying the same shit, but was just blah, 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 blah. And he did it at Double or Nothing too. He came out like a couple times, and it's like, dude,
What do you think the reason is?
I think what's going on over there is something happened between him, the Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody, that something happened that he took their EVP power away and didn't let these guys do any more booking. He took sole control. But the problem with him is I think he's such good friends with half of that roster that he can't separate being fan and a businessman.
Yeah, but what's him coming out and that many times?
Because it's the freaking fan in him, man. He just gets him going to come out. I mean, I think there's other things maybe going on. I won't get into that, but I think
No, you don't have to.
yeah, but I think there's other things going on. But
I'm just saying, like, what would make him possess himself to come out? Like, I understand if he was in storylines or if he was doing something, but if he comes out and keeps saying, "Thank you guys for showing up," and and it's the same thing that he's been saying since Jacksonville.
Yep.
which
It's
I heard it's the exact same line that he says
uh,
from Jacksonville all the way down to here.
it's in the beginning when he wasn't coming out as much, you know what I mean? And then would, I think the fans made such a big deal, and I think because I've been to AEW stuff where he comes out and the fans go nuts for this guy, like, oh my god, it's Tony Khan, and like I think it became this thing where he's like, oh my god, I'm one of the boys.
Yeah.
People want my pictures, people want my autograph. I'm living my dream. I own a wrestling company. I have all these famous wrestlers. People, I'm famous now because who knew this guy before other than, oh yeah, your dad owns these teams and you help run some of them.
Yeah. And
You know what I mean?
totally.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so I do think there's some sort of narcissist part of this where he's living his boyhood dream of coming out and being a part of the show. The unfortunate part is it's more detrimental to his show. It's not doing the show any favors.
I don't know because he was running a really good show. Like the beginnings when
Hmm.
he like I understand. Come out and say what's up every once in a while, and if you're in a storyline, cool. Or put yourself in a storyline to make you need to have to come out. But he was running a really solid program. And everything was really looking really well. And then I felt like once he started like taking on all these companies and wrestlers, it seems that this kind of just got all lost in the wind because it took on a little more than what he could handle. And I mean, he's handling it, he's doing it, he's running it, he's a billionaire. I can't say nothing about it. But, you know, from my eyes, is that he took on a lot more than what he was expecting and hiring people that are just collecting money just to hang out. And,
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Big Show, you got Mark Henry, you got a bunch of other guys that are just they're paying him the millions of dollars to do what?
Hmm.
To do what?
And then he bought ROH, so now he has all that talent he's got to pay for. You know what I mean?
I mean,
And then, you know, the video game is finally dropping. This video game that's been in development for years that he says is going to pull him into the black. It's going to be what really makes money for the.
video games
I
are kind of out right now.
Yeah, and I saw some of the clips of it. Like the graphics don't look that great.
No, they look like worse than old. Like I love Street Fighter, but they're like worse. They're like horrible. They're
Yeah,
like they made it seem like it was an arcade game from like back in like
yeah,
and
but
then I
you know,
saw you can bring a skateboard and like do skateboarding tricks and like ollie across the ring and like grind across the ropes and do all that stuff.
yeah,
That's wrestling. They should allow me to bring a spear gun down there and fucking shoot a wrestling.
shoot Darby Allen while he's grinding
Come
on the rope.
on, man! Like,
So I was watching Double or Nothing, and so when they did the TNT, TBS, which is Jade Cargill and her undefeated streak. So like again, super green. This girl has held this title and it is 60-0
well,
at Double or Nothing.
the internet and every from Meltzer and everybody says she is the best of the best.
No, she's awful.
That's not what Meltzer and all everyone else says.
I don't know. I don't know, man. She's awful. She botches every shit. Like literally, it's amazing no one's gotten hurt. Um, she has an amazing look, but she came out with like her sorority sisters, and they did like a full choreographed dance while she had some chick rapping her to the ring. And I got so pissed because I was like, you took the time to learn this whole fucking dance for your entrance, yet you still can't. And she did. There was like 3 spots in that match that she's so lucky she didn't fucking hurt Taya Valkyrie seriously because they were ugly. Every match she has, there's just blown spots, dude. And it's always her fault. And it's always bad. And again, she wins. So poor Taya Valkyrie, John Morrison's wife, has to do 2 matches with this chick, and the second match really fucking carry her and still loses, doesn't get this title, but then Chris Statlander returned after being out for a year and comes out, beats Jade, and gets the belt. And it's like,
Yeah, so Jade's no longer champion.
so she's not, and she's now 60-1. They made sure to beat Taya to get that 60 number. And then, they did the promo with Smart Mark in the ring saying, she'll challenge anyone, anytime, anywhere. And then Statlander came out. So, but it's like, I was getting invested in Taya Valkyrie, though, because of these matches.
Oh, wait. Oh. Statlander didn't win the title?
No, she did. Yeah, she came back and won it. So, now she has it, but that's another one. Like, you just put this title on this girl that you're reworking because you're getting her away from this alien character because she was an alien before. And now you're trying to make her like legit, and it's just like, bro, change the character, build some steam with the canoe character, then put her in that title picture. Like, why are we putting a title on Statlander when you're in the midst of trying to like do different
I'm glad
things?
she won it.
I'm glad, but it's just, I don't know. It's just not a lot of logic goes in behind some of the stuff they're doing.
I mean, the only other person that I could see getting it would be Deebs, but
Deebs, Ruby Soho. Well, the other thing too, though, is they got a lot of new ladies that once they start using
young talent.
Yeah, once they start using these girls in more serious storylines, you'll see some really good stuff coming out. They had Wardlow go over on Christian, who Christian's one of their top heels. I mean, he's got to be 2 or 3 under MJF. And I mean, just an amazing talent in the ring. Yes. And Wardlow's just like, they killed anything with this guy after MJF because we were all invested on him versus MJF because MJF made him basically his slave. Mm-hmm. But because of how they ended up having him turn on MJF and then that little feud, which they
don't want MJF losing, so they're not gonna feud.
Well, they did. They feuded for only like 2 weeks though, and MJF beat him, and it was just like,
I know exactly.
Yeah, and it was like,
Wardlow should have got the win.
Well, that or like they should have just did something else with him instead of the way he actually, cost MJF that almost cost MJF the match. Yeah, I just didn't like how they did that, but we'll see. We'll see what they can do. They've got Wembley Stadium, which Jamie Hayter, huge
Wembley Stadium. Oh my God, I've wrestled there and debuted Aces and Eights. Turned on Mr. Kurt Angle. So wow.
Hell yeah, bro. But that's their next big show, and Jamie Hayter, obviously hometown girl, but she's like legit hurt right now, so they had her like drop the title like super quick, like not even a real match, just so they could have her rest up till Wembley. And now Toni Storm is the women's champion. But now it's like you got to hope she's back for Wembley, and then you got Wembley, and then they're supposed to do the next pay-per-view that next weekend. So 2 pay-per-views in a while. That's gonna be real interesting, man, when they're just throwing shit at the wall to see if it sticks. Yeah. But you've got that show though coming up July 1st. Atomic Legacy Wrestling. So guys, make sure you check it out. Get your tickets for that. Mm-hmm. What else? Anything else you got coming up that we need to know about?
No, probably about to go to bed in a little bit, and that's about it.
Hell yeah. Waterloo Hall of Fame, 3rd weekend in July. We'll be doing the live show there. So if you're there, come hang out with us. We'll see you there. New name just announced that's going to be there, Mr. Devon Dudley. So maybe a mini Aces and Eights reunion in Waterloo. Yeah, otherwise, find us online, subscribe, share our channel, guys. Please share it. Let everybody know that we're here, what we got going on. We're going to bring some more stuff to you as the summer goes on the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the Brisco Big Ace Show, at Wes Brisco on everything else. Just type in Big Ace. You can find me if you want to find me. Otherwise, guys, we'll see y'all next week.